with Billy Peak. He's going to be performing out at Faust Park for the Chesterfield Summer Concert Series. Got a CD right here. Can you tell our viewers and listeners what they can expect when they see you hit the stage?
Well, most of the people that have followed me for over the years, they know that they're going to get a lot of Chuck Berry songs because I was with Chuck Berry for many, many years. And I do occasional Rod Stewart songs. I don't do as many of his because the productions were so different. And I lend myself to doing Chuck Berry music anyway. That's my style of guitar. And so that's basically, people are going to see that, but they're going to see a lot of blues like B.B. King and so forth, plus my own blues. I got this album I put out many years ago. I say album because it came out on vinyl first.
Well, I call CDs
but
albums
it's
too
a CD
still.
now, but that was my very first CD under my own name. And it's called Can a White Boy Play the Blues?
Yeah, it's exciting. And I know you were just telling us about how you've played with Chuck Berry. Can you give us your favorite Chuck Berry story?
Well, I can give you like one of them.
Don't get him in any trouble. Don't tell too much.
Well, I can just give you an idea of Chuck's humor. Years ago, he used to own a club on Grand called Club Bandstand after Dick Clark's show. And on Grand Avenue, they have all these no parking signs. And I was with him one day, and he's in this big old Cadillac with these air horns and everything. He whips in and parks right in front of his club where it says no parking.
Nice. Well, it's his club, right?
And he gets out of his car, and I get out of the car, and there's a cop across the street that's in. So he says, "Hey, you." And Chuck turned around. She's talking to me? He says, "Yeah." He says, "Can't you read?" And Chuck looked up at the sign for about 5 seconds, looked back at him and said, "Who's smoking?"
Chuck Berry tales, I tell you.
Yeah.
And what about Rod Stewart? That had to be quite the thrill to be on stage with him.
Yeah, well, I was on stage with him a lot because when I was in the original RSG, which was the Rod Stewart group. It was right after Faces, and he was kind of, set back that he had to go out and be a single. He was used to working with a group like the Faces, and I think his confidence level was very low. But once we started getting reviews on the new band and stuff, I mean, he lost it after that because we got over and above what he thought we would do. And we had Cornman Peace as the drummer, and John Jarvis was a piano player who went down to Nashville and hooked up with Vince Gill and Rigby McIntyre and a whole bunch of Shania Twain has written songs with all them people. He's done quite well in Nashville. But all of the guys that were in that group, have come out of there and done quite well. Phil Chin was with the Doors up until Ray Manzarek's passing a couple months ago.
Well, you've had quite a musical life.
Yeah, I was fortunate, because I've been able to play music all my life and do nothing else.
Yeah, that had to be a lot of fun. And I mean, look at this, you've got your own CD out. How can folks get a hold of your CD?
Well, you can get my CD through a mail order, and then on BillyPeak.com or Ida Best Records is the best way to get my CD. We're going to be getting it up on iTunes before long. However, that's just my first CD. I have another CD to follow that this was called Can a White Boy Play the Blues, and the second CD was The Answer, which was the answer to that, which was There Ain't No Color in the Blues was the name of the song. And I wrote most of the songs, and but then my last CD that or most current CD, I should say, was a tribute to Chuck Berry, and it was called Tribute to a Poet is the name of it. And I got 12 of Chuck's classic songs on there, but I'm doing them instead of Chuck. So.
Yeah, he said, Chuck, nah, who needs him? You got Billy Peak. So again, folks can see you out in Chesterfield at Faust Park.
Yeah, I'm going to be out there on the 13th, and from 7 to 9, and we always have a great turnout for us. People come out quite a bit. There's usually, a couple thousand people out there.
It'll be a nice, fun night for the family.
Yeah, and I didn't play last year. I played Faust Park, I guess, 3 or 4 years in a row, and then last year I didn't play, and so this year I'm back again to play that gig.
Well, we are glad you're back.
So, and I've got a lot of other stuff coming up.
Okay, and they can just keep visiting your website for more of that stuff you've got coming up.
www.billypeek.com, and it's Peak with 2 E's, P-E-E-K. And you can also find me on Facebook. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff that I did with Rod Stewart and Chuck Berry is starting to show up on Facebook.
Nice. Well,
you know, like all of these little clips and
stuff you probably forgot about. You're like, oh, I did that.
Yeah, right. And you know, I looked a lot younger too.
Nah. All right. Well, I thank you so much for hanging out with us, and have fun at the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.